kid also, I believe. He just played well enough that you guys trust him and get him in there?
I mean, we gave him a scholarship after last year. I mean, he's been on scholarship, and he's a scholarship caliber player. And he is very physical. He's powerful. He knows the offense. I mean, when we talk, before this injury happened, when we talk about, the future of our offensive line, looking at next year even, I mean, we're very comfortable that Scott Lewis is going to be in there. So, this happens in seasons. I mean, everybody goes through injuries and everybody gets hurt. Sometimes you have those years that you're lucky and, you only lose a guy or two, and sometimes you run into a string of bad luck. And, unfortunately, that's happened this year with us at a couple different positions. But that's football. You got to be ready to move on, and guys got to be ready to step up. And I feel like Scott's prepared. Now, is he going to play as well as Shane? Well, there's a reason Shane and Ben are the starters and Scott's not. And those guys are a lot more experienced. But I'm sure he'll make mistakes, but I know this, he'll play hard.
It was just at the Kent game, you had the same 5 guys play every snap, and now 2 games later, you got 3 guys out of the 5 in new positions. So like you say, that's football.
It is what it is. And, is it ideal? No. I mean, I wish those other guys weren't hurt, but, it's receiver early in the year. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, Chris Wright catches 6 balls for 100 yards. Adrian Hodges has had 2 games and 15 catches. Justice Jones has stepped up. And guys have to be ready. Now, there's only so many of those hits you can take. But going into the year, I mean, we felt that we were 8 deep on the O-line. I mean, Scott Lewis and Chip Robinson and Blake Walker, we thought were all playing at a level that we could compete with and hopefully win with. Again, it is what it is, and we're going to move forward, and hopefully we'll get those other guys back in time. We just got to get a lot of reps this week and get those guys comfortable with what we're going to do and the things that Central does.
That's a knee for Ben, and Brady, it's his...
Brady just he got a little shoulder problem, and again, there's a slight chance, but it's doubtful that he'll play. It's just one of those things that probably needs rest and needs to calm down, and hopefully we'll get him back for Buffalo. And with Ben, it's kind of a week-to-week deal. That he's not going to need any surgery, and he's just rehabbing it. And when he feels like he can go on it, he'll go. And again, it's very unlikely that'll be this Saturday, but possibly Buffalo. Just kind of take it day by day. But he said he felt a lot better today than he did the previous 3 days, so that's a good sign.
Last week you mentioned PJ. Is that still on track for what you mentioned?
Yes, so far. I mean, he's not going to play this week, and if he continues to do things right, he's been practicing with us, and he's been on the look team. And then next week, after this game, that we'll start getting ready to play in the Buffalo game if he stays on course.
So the target is the Buffalo game?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. When it was, initially I said it was indefinite. It was definitely going to be 6 games and the possibility of more if he didn't do the things he needed to do. And fortunately, so far, he's done all of those things.
Most important game of the season this Saturday? Although you're probably going to tell me they're all.
I'm going to give you the coach speak on that one now. I mean, it's the next game. It's very important. When you start the season, really the goal is to get into November to have all your goals still in place. And certainly those goals are a lot more realistic if we take care of business this week. I think if we don't, a lot of those goals are still possibilities, but it becomes a little bit more of an uphill battle. So, this is a very important game. And, Central Michigan, to me, right now is clearly playing like they're the class of the league. Not just a record of 6-1, but they've played one of the tougher non-conference schedules too. Their win over Michigan State this year is, I think, clearly the signature win of the conference and the non-conference schedule this year. And they're not only they winning, but they're blowing people out. I don't think the Michigan State game was a fluke at all. I think they're a really good football team. I'm sure they'd love to play Arizona again. The way they beat Alcorn, the way they beat Akron, the way they beat Western Michigan, the way they beat Eastern Michigan. You know, the games have not been that competitive. Again, their average margin of victory this year is about 20 points a game. So they're good. They're very good, and we've played other good teams. But this is certainly one of the top teams we've played all year.
Coach, you talk about the signature win there. A couple close losses. Do you view this as a chance for the program as kind of be your signature win here this year?
I don't get into. They're all important. I don't. Signature wins. I don't know if you can say this early here. I mean, this is a big game, and if we get this game, it allows us to play other big games this year. But this is a great challenge for our team. I mean, this is a team that I believe Central's beaten 17 consecutive Eastern Division opponents. Is that the number? Come on, this is your department now. You gotta be on this. This just proves that I started the Freddie Barnes website.
Wait a minute.
He wins.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I think they've beaten the Eastern Division team. I think it's 17 in a row, and this is trying to get their 3 out of the last 4 years MAC championships, and they're clearly in the driver's seat in the West, and they're playing at a very high level. And if we want to be a championship team, these are the games that we've got to be able to compete in and win.
You want to know what those noon starts. I mean,
I like noon starts. Who dug up that one stat? That was good work there. So I didn't realize that. There's a reason I like those noon starts, huh? So he pointed out in his notes. What was the record? 8-1, 9-1 now, right?
9-1 now.
So. Nothing?
Nothing.
You get your, what is it? So you get your
I'm
3.
saving them for next week. Yeah.
Well, then they subtract from some of the other weeks. So
Maybe we can.
I think you're up to 5 next
She
week.
treats them like rollover minutes. She thinks
Exactly. Yeah.